Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today I'm going to do a playthrough of Marvel Champions the card game, the new LCG co-op by Fantasy Flight Games. Now Mike has a great two-player playthrough using Iron Man and Spider-Man, I believe. Nice combo. But I thought I would do a couple different heroes as well as a different boss. This way you guys can see a different type of play of the game, as well as I also wanted to show you guys expert mode. So I'm going to play an expert level of Rhino going against She-Hulk and Captain Marvel. Let's set it up. Our first step is we're going to set up the villain deck. So I am going to play expert level. So Rhino is going to be level 2, level 3 instead of level 1, level 2. He starts with his specific scheme, the break-in, out on the table. It states, Rhino is trying to smash through the facility wall and steal a shipment of vibranium. You must stop him. We then have our standard encounter cards, which you'll always use every time you play this game. And then if you're playing expert mode, you have 3 expert-specific cards you'll also include. Then you have to choose, and down here I should say is also Rhino's specific cards. So here's Rhino, and then these are Rhino-specific encounter cards. And then you have to choose at least one encounter set, and I'm going to choose one of the harder encounter sets, the Hydra encounter set. And yeah, this is the epitome of the reason why it's difficult is Madame Hydra. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle all of these together and set Rhino up on the board. The first thing you'll see with Rhino is Rhino himself will have 15 times the amount of players, so that's 2, a total of 30 health, okay, in this first level form, which is actually his level 2 form. We also have, you can see down here on the breaking in, we start with 0 threat on this scheme. Now, we do have the when revealed effect come into play here. It says, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the break-in and take inside scheme and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck. So we have break-in and taken, which says Rhino is breaking things and taking them. I love that thematic wording there. Wonderful. When revealed, place an additional 1 plus the times the amount of players, so that's 2 total threat here. We start with 2 on this card itself, so it'll actually start with 4 total threat. And while this is out on the table, if we don't take care of this during the encounter phase, we're going to reveal or draw an additional encounter card. So we're going to want to try and get rid of that if we can. You can see here, if we are in hero mode, Rhino will attack us at an attack of 3. If we're in our alter ego form, he will scheme on the main quest, which is main scheme, for 1 plus their boost cards. Also, just to note, the break-in, how we lose the game is if there's a total of 14 threat at any time on this card, 7 times the amount of players. Let's go ahead and look at our heroes. So I'm going to start with our first player, which is going to be She-Hulk or Jennifer Walters. Her deck, so in this game is a deck construction game. You can make your deck before you go into play. You have to choose 15 of your specific hero cards. So you can see over here, She-Hulk, there's 15 of these cards we have to always have in there. Then you can choose an aspect. I chose aggression. You can see they're red cards. So I have her deck comprising of She-Hulk cards, aggression cards, and then anyone can have basic cards. They're great. You can play them at in any sphere of aspects at all. So these are the 3 spheres that make up Jennifer Walters' deck. Here we have Jennifer herself. She starts off on her alter ego side. Her ability states that it's an interrupt. When threat will be placed on a scheme, prevent 1 of that threat, limit once per round. She can exhaust herself and heal for 5, which is awesome. Okay, then on her hero form, yeah, she's awesome. 1 scheme, 3 attack, 2 defense. It says, do you even lift? Response, after you change to this form, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So yeah, she loves flipping back and forth. She has a total of 15 health points, so I've got my 15 here. The big thing about her is she only has a hand size of 4 on her She-Hulk side and a hand size of 6 in her Jennifer Walters side. Okay. Every hero has an obligation. Her obligation is legal work, so we're just going to take this card and shuffle it into the encounter deck. And then she also has a nemesis, which of course I'm showing you Captain Marvel's nemesis. Whoops, sorry about that. There we go. That's a little better. We have Titania. Titania is She-Hulk's nemesis. If ever we draw 1 card right now, it's called Shadows of the Past, we will have to bring this nemesis and the 5 related cards into play or into the encounter deck itself. But right now, those are going to be placed off to the side. Hopefully, we won't see them. For Carol Danvers, or Captain Marvel, We will have her 15 specific cards. She's going to choose the aspect of justice, so they're going to be yellow cards, and then she also has basic cards to make up her 40-card deck. Carol Danvers, if she would like, can exhaust and heal for 4 while she's in Carol Danvers form, her alter ego. Her ability is a commander. Action, choose a player to draw 1 card, limit once per round. Awesome, that's any character, love it. Her hand size on this side is 6, health points is a total of 12, and then if we flip her, she is a 2/2/1, so 2 thwart. That's how we get rid of threat on schemes, 2 attack, 1 defense. She has rechannel. Action, spend an energy resource, and you'll see what those resources are as we play, and heal 1 damage from Captain Marvel. And that is a cost. You cannot do this without healing her, by the way. Then it says draw 1 card, limit once per round. Cool. For her obligation, we have Family Emergency, so that will just go right into the encounter deck. And then she has Jan Rog as her nemesis, which we'll place off to the side, and hopefully we will never see, but if we do, we'll put him out as well as the side scheme, and the 3 treachery cards will go into the encounter deck. To start off the game, you will each draw up to your hand size, and then you can mulligan 1 time, just like any other LCG that Fantasy Flight has. This mulligan, though, is a little different. Whatever you choose not to keep actually goes to your discard pile. But why that matters, or it doesn't matter as much in this game, is you can cycle through your deck in this game. So here we have our starting hand for Jennifer Walters. Now, if you look at the bottom of all these cards, these are the resources these cards generate. So this card, specifically called Genius, actually is considered 2 resources. And why that matters is when I'm playing for cards, or paying for cards, so like this Superhuman Strength, I could discard this Genius card, and it's actually worth 2 resources to pay for this card. Normally, though, it'd be 1 for 1. And you can see a lot of times the cost or the type of resource does not matter. But there are some cards, like this one, if it says you can spend a specific mental resource, which is this Genius resource, you get to do something, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So this hand is actually pretty good. I would love to see Avengers Mansion in my hand, just because Jennifer only gets 4 cards on her superhero side, but I kind of like this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to discard this chase them down, because there's no minions out on the board, and so we're not going to use it for that ability. We'll go ahead and draw a card. Oh man, we get combat training. That's also awesome. So the hard part about this game is you're going to have to spend cards in your hand to play cards. So you go, oh, do I want to spend it or do I want to play it? Here we have Captain Marvel's hand. It's actually not that great. I like Jessica a lot, actually, because there are 2 schemes out right now. So I think I'll keep Jessica. I might keep 1 Cosmic, but I think I'm going to discard for Justice, discard 1 of these, and no one's hurt right now, so I'm going to discard First Aid. So we'll draw 3 more cards. We get Photonic Blast. We will get Energy Channel, and we'll get an Avengers Mansion. Awesome, so we could get Avengers Mansion, which would be kind of nice. Let's go ahead and look at this player phase reference so we understand how the phases work. So first thing we'll do is take turns in player order. You may, on your turn, play cards, trigger, and request actions. So we can ask someone else, hey, can you give us, can you do an action? Well, what that other player is not able to do is play cards like upgrades or allies out onto the board, but they can activate actions. So Carol Danvers can allow Jennifer to draw a card, stuff like that. And you can do that on anything that's already on the board as well. You can also use your basic thwart or attack. You can change your form. Now you can only do that once per round, and then you can end your turn. We'll do that for each of our characters. Then after that, all players have finished their turns. Each player simultaneously discards any number of cards from their hand that they would like, draw up to their hand size, and then readies each of their exhausted cards, which includes their hero. So actually when the villain's going to be attacking, everything should be ready, which is a little bit different from Lord of the Rings. It's hard for me to get used to, but it works. So, all right, we'll start with this phase 1. We'll start with Jennifer. The first thing we're going to do with Jennifer is we're going to go ahead and play combat training. We're going to use these 2 resources to pay the 2 cost. This says play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Your hero gets +1 attack. Yes, that means that She-Hulk will be a 4 attack. Just totally worth it right up the front. And it was a hard choice of what I wanted to play for my hand, but I think I'm going to play Hellcat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 3 cards as 3 resources, 1, 2, 3, to pay for the 3 for Hellcat. Now Hellcat has an action that you can return her to your hand. Why it has that, because you might be going, why the heck? Why would you want to put it back to your hand? you can see every time we thwart or attack with her, they've got this little star symbol. That means that the ally takes consequential damage. So when I use Hellcat, she's going to take a point of damage. When I use her 2 more times, she'll take her 3 points of damage, which you can see her health is here, and she get discarded. Well, instead, we can use her twice and then actually put her back into our hand, and then we can either put her out again, or we could use her as a resource, honestly. So that's why her ability is kind of cool. So she's going to be out on the board. Let's now go ahead and swap Jennifer over to She-Hulk. So when she flips, she will do an automatic 2 points of damage to an enemy. Well, the only one that's out is Rhino himself. So he's going to go down to 28. Ugh, just got hit by She-Hulk just by flipping. Then we're going to go ahead and have She-Hulk attack for 4. 3 plus the one that she has here. Just so you guys know, instead of turning things sideways to exhaust or tap them, I just use these tokens to denote they are exhausted. 1, 2, 3, 4. It just really helps with tracking on the board, as well as it makes it easier to record. Then we are going to exhaust Hellcat. We are going to have to give her that consequential damage, but then she's going to thwart for 2. So that break-in and take-in, we're going to remove 2 out of the 4 threat that's on there using Hellcat. And that'll end our turn. Moving to Carol Danvers' turn, first thing we're going to do is use her action. We're going to draw a card, and we get Genius. Nice. Avengers Mansion is just so good, and to get it out at the beginning of the game, it's totally worth it. So we're going to go ahead and play it, and you can see why. I exhaust Avengers Mansion, choose a player, that player draws 1 card. So not only do you get to draw a card, but it's also like you're generating a resource. So I'm going to spend 2 from the Genius, 1 from the Photonic Blast, and 1 from Crisis Intervention to pay for the 4. And then we're going to go ahead and use this right away, just because it might depend upon what we do, depending upon what we draw. So we get another energy channel. Well, you know, the best laid plans always are going to change. With 2 energy channels in her hand, that's a ton of damage. So I'm going to go ahead and play an energy channel out on the board right now. And it says here, max 1 per player. So I can't put the other one out right now. It says spend X energy resources, get X energy counters on here. Discard energy channel and deal 2 damage to an enemy to a maximum of 10 for each energy counter here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard these 2 cards, Jessica and Cosmic Flight. They're both having the energy symbol. That means we get to place 2 tokens on here. So right now we could discard that for 4 damage. But who wants to do that? I want to do 10. So I'll keep that out, and as we go through rounds, we'll put more and more counters on here until we get 5 counters to do the 10 damage. Then we'll go ahead and flip Carol to Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, now we could do that healing ability, but we can't because we're totally fully healed, so we can't use that. We are going to use the 2 thwart to go ahead and thwart break-in and take-in. That's the last 2 threat on here, so this card will get discarded, and we don't have to worry about revealing an additional encounter card. Thank goodness. Both players now will refresh all of their cards. So I'm just showing you first player right now, which is She-Hulk. We'll refresh, and then we draw up to our hand size. So She-Hulk will draw 4, Captain Marvel will draw 5. And I should have said up to, draw up to your hand size. So I had this energy channel in my hand from the last round, and I decided to keep it in my hand. I could have discarded it for Captain Marvel, but that card's so good. So I kept it in my hand and drew 4 more cards. So I have a total of 5 for Captain Marvel and 4 for She-Hulk. And of course, look at She-Hulk finally got Avengers Mansion, and now we only have 4 cards. So it's going to be fun to try and pay for that. We did a total of 6 damage. We removed 4 threat. Yeah, feeling pretty good, right? But now is when the villain fights back. So our first step is we have to place threat on the main scheme, and I'll show you that in a second. Then the villain and each engaged minion activates once per player in player order. If you are in hero form, the enemies will attack you, and you can defend before the boost card is discarded, and you'll understand what that means as we do it. If you're in alter ego form, the enemy will actually scheme. Both of us are in hero form, so you won't see that yet. Then we deal an encounter card to each player. Each player reveals their encounter cards in player order, and then we'll pass the first player token over to Captain Marvel. First things first, the break-in gets 2 threat because we have here, we place 1 threat times the amount of players, so there's 2, during the place threat on the main scheme. Remember, if this gets to 14, we lose the game. So we're doing okay. We can still place 12 more, or I should say 11 more threat before we lose. Now, Rhino is going to activate. So we first look at our first player, it's She-Hulk. She is in hero form, so he is going to attack. He's going to attack for 3. we'll grab a boost card, kind of like a shadow card, and then we determine, okay, do we want to defend against this or not? If we defend, then She-Hulk will start next round exhausted. So I'm not going to defend. I'm just going to take it on the chin. I am going to take it undefended. You don't do that often in Lord of the Rings. In this game, I find I do it a lot more often than what I'm used to. So we'll flip this card. Okay, we look at their attack, which is 3. Then you see these symbols here. These are boost symbols. So his attack is 3 plus 2. That's 5. Ow. So we just went from 15 down to 10. But what's nice is this is an expert card, and we took it as a shadow. I'll take those. I'll take those as a shadow card or a boost card any day. All right, Captain Marvel's going to do the same thing. She's just going to take it on the chin. She's getting attacked also for 5. Wow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you're going to see her health is 7. You're going to see I'm not doing any of the text that's on this card. I'm only looking here. That's what you need to remember when you are revealing boost cards. I'm seeing a lot of people thinking they have to do the when revealed or anything on the card when you flip it as a boost card. No. Only thing you have to worry about is down here in the bottom right corner if there are symbols to do them. Now, there are some that have a star symbol. If it has a star symbol, then the card will have a line and will have an ability that's very much like the shadow card, where you'll read that ability that only activates if it's used as a boost card. But I don't think any of these encounter cards even have that star symbol, so all you're going to be seeing are boost symbols. And so that means this legal work just gets discarded and we don't have to worry about its effect hitting She-Hulk. Well, Rhino hit us pretty hard there. Hit both of us for 5 straight damage. Now what we're going to do is we're each going to draw one encounter card. So one's going to go to She-Hulk and one's going to go to Captain Marvel. And then we'll reveal them one at a time, starting with She-Hulk. Now what I like about this is in Lord of the Rings, you would just reveal the top card. And sometimes you'd have surges and you can't remember. Did you activate? Did you activate? What's nice here is you'll get a card at the beginning of that of the encounter phase. And then if there's a card in front of you, you need to reveal it when it's your turn. It's nice. I like how they did that. Over here, we have She-Hulk's card. Over here, we have Captain Marvel's. So She-Hulk, I was hoping this wasn't going to be the case. We have Legions of Hydra. When revealed, this is a side scheme. When revealed, if Madam Hydra is not in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Madam Hydra and put her into play engaged with you. Then shuffle the encounter deck. Place 2 additional threat here for each Hydra enemy in play. Well, the only Hydra enemy is going to be Madam Hydra. So we'll place a total of 5 threat on this card. Yeah, she is the worst. This is why this specific encounter set's so hard, because read her. Madam Hydra cannot take damage while the Legions of Hydra's side scheme is in play. After Madam Hydra schemes or attacks, place 2 threat on the Legion of Hydra side scheme. So this scheme is just going to continue to get stronger and stronger and more threat on it until we can get through it, but we can't defeat her until we get through this, and if we don't defeat her, she's just going to keep putting threat on here. Oh. Okay, what a great way to start. Captain Marvel will get Assault. When revealed, we are in hero form. The villain attacks you. My goodness. So we're going to get attacked for 3. Here's our boost cards. Now the question is, do we want to defend? I'm definitely not going to defend just because we need to do a lot this turn. Okay, it just gets +1, so we get hit for 4. So we go from 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, we're only at, 3 health. Remember how I discarded that heal card? Yeah, I might be regretting that. Finally, we'll go ahead and move the first player token over to Captain Marvel. And we have an uphill battle. I hope you guys are ready. Let's jump into the next round. Captain Marvel will go ahead and go first. First thing she's going to do is exhaust Avengers Mansion. Let's go ahead and draw the top card of her deck. Oh, Daredevil. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and use Captain Marvel's ability. So it says spend an energy resource. So we'll spend Interrogation Room to go ahead and heal her 1 damage. So we'll go up to 4 from 3. And then we get to draw a card. Come on. Okay, a Haymaker. That's not great, but not terrible. Then I think we're going to go ahead and get Daredevil out onto the board. So he costs 4. I've got my 4 here with Heroic Intuition, Haymaker, and 2 resources here. He has a response that says, after Daredevil thwarts, deal 1 damage to an enemy. I then think I'm going to do this. It kind of hurts a little bit, but I'm going to play Alpha's Flight Station to go ahead and pay for it using Energy Channel. But this is going to help us draw through our deck. You can see here we can exhaust Alpha Flight Station and choose and discard one card from our hand to draw one card, but if we're in Carol Danvers, we can actually draw two cards. Then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use both Captain Marvel and Daredevil to thwart for 4. So that we have a total of 5 on Legions of Hydra. We're going to put that down to 1. Now, Daredevil gets to do his response, and so he'll do 1 point of damage to Rhino. We could try doing Madam Hydra, but while this Legion of Hydra's out, she cannot take damage, so that would be silly. Now, the other part that people have had a hard time with in this game is now what I can do is I'm going to flip to Carol Danvers. She's still exhausted, okay? So I can't use her recover ability, but you know what I can use? Commander. So I can allow someone to draw a card. The question becomes, do I let She-Hulk draw a card, or do we draw a card? I think I'm going to let She-Hulk draw a card. So She-Hulk will grab 1, and she gets the uppercut. Oh, deal 5 damage to an enemy. Sweet. And then since I have no cards left in my hand, I can't even use the Alpha Flight Station, but I'll be able to next round. So I'll end my turn. The first thing I'll do for She-Hulk's turn is exhaust Hellcat. She'll take a 2nd point of damage, and then we'll go ahead and take care of Legions of Hydra. Now, we have 2 thwart. That thwart doesn't roll over to the main scheme. That thwart only goes to a scheme, and if we have extra, we've wasted it. It's still worth it to get rid of that, because now we can hit Madam Hydra. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust She-Hulk. She will do 3 plus her 1 here, 4 damage to Madam Hydra. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what we're going to do is play Relentless Assault. So that states, deal 5 damage to a minion. If you paid for this card using a fist resource, this attack gains overkill. So I'm going to pay for that with Legal Practice and Uppercut. That's our 2 resources. I'll discard those. Then we're doing a total of 5 damage. We only need to do 2 to her, so 3 remaining are lost, except for the fact that this gains overkill. Excess damage from this attack is dealt to the villain. So we just dealt 3 more damage to the villain. So we will put this down to 20 for Rhino. Sweet. Oh, and you guys, I realized I did not put 1 point of damage on Daredevil when he used his thwart, so I went and updated that right now. Now, this is a little risky what I'm going to do, but I am going to flip She-Hulk back over to Jennifer Walters' side. 2 reasons for that. 1, I really want the 6 cards in hands instead of 4. 2, don't forget, when she flips next time, she'll do an automatic 2 damage. 3, she can at least prevent 1 threat from being placed on the scheme during the next round. So, yeah, we only have 2. We'll have a total of 4 threat on the main scheme. I think we can take it. Now, there is something I haven't talked to you guys yet about, and that is cards that say Hero Action. So, this energy channel, it says Hero Action. That means I have to be in hero form to activate it. So if I was in Carol Danvers form, I can't always undo Energy Channel because Carol can't do that. It's Captain Marvel that can do that ability. It's okay. Just wanted you to know. So we're going to end the player phase. We're going to go ahead and refresh everything. Yeah, I didn't use that. And then we'll go ahead and draw up to our hand size. Both of them will get 6 cards. Jennifer did end up keeping Tenacity and the Avengers Mansion. I was hoping maybe I can play this next round. I was hoping for a double resource card. I didn't get one, but maybe I'll still be able to play it. But her hand looks pretty good. Carol over here has Spider-Woman, awesome, Photonic Blast, Crisis Interdiction, and then another great basic, the Helicarrier, helping reduce cost of cards. Ooh, yes, and the Power of Justice. So that card's really cool because it's considered 2 wild resources for another Justice card. So we could play this just by paying this card instead of having to pay 2 resources worth of cards. First thing on the villain phase, we place 2 more threat onto the main scheme, so there's 4 out of the total 14. Now the villain, well, the villain's going to scheme twice because we're both in alter ego form. There are no heroes out. If I was playing Claw or Ultron, I might not be able to do this. But with Rhino, I can stretch it with his 1 scheme. So he'll boost. 1 plus 2 is 3. Wow. Okay, for the first one, he gets 3 more. So that's 3, 6, 7. And then for the next one, it's 1 plus another 3. So let's see. 3 plus these 2 is a 5. So let's see. How close are we to losing? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so if you place 4 more threat on this scheme, we lose the game. We'll now each draw an encounter card, so 1 for Captain Marvel and 1 for She-Hulk. We'll reveal Captain Marvel's first, and she gets hard to keep him down. When revealed, Rhino heals 4 damage. Yeah, he can do that. If he can, it gains surge, but he can heal it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's at 24 health. Okay. Of all of the ones to have, that's not bad. And then our other one, oh, exhaustion. Surge, when revealed, exhaust your identity card. So Jennifer has just been exhausted. So that means we can't attack with her unless we have a way to ready her. Oh, and I always forget about her interrupt. I'm going to remove one threat from the scheme because she could have prevented one of those. Okay, so we actually only have 9 on the scheme. I need to remember that. It's so hard to remember that. But it does say Surge here, so what Surge means is we draw another encounter card, so this will get discarded, and we get I'm Tough. When revealed, give Rhino a Tough status card. If he already has one, this card gains Surge, so he just gains Tough. What Tough does, the next time this character would take any amount of damage, discard the status card instead. Perfect for Daredevil, because Daredevil can thwart for 2, deal 1 damage, he can just hit the Tough card, it goes away. Awesome. Our first player token, now we'll move over to Jennifer. Unfortunately, she's exhausted. I'm bummed about that, but I still think we can do some fun stuff. I'm actually super bummed that Jennifer Walters is the first to activate this round, not second. Because like I said, Daredevil would have been great to get rid of the Tough status, but I don't think I can wait that long. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Hellcat's ability here, return her to my hand as an action. Then Carol Danvers is going to go ahead and exhaust Avengers Mansion so that we can draw 1 card, because Carol can use her ability to draw a card too. So we got, the Power of Aggression. We can use that card as 2 resources for any aggression card. We're then going to beg Carol Danvers for 1 more card draw, and she's going to give in because she's awesome. So she's going to allow Jennifer to draw another card, and she gets Uppercut. Cool. This means we can pay the Power of Aggression for 2 aggression resources and then combat training for 1 to put out Tigra. Tigra has a sweet ability that says after Tigra attacks and defeats a minion, heal 1 damage from her. So we want to use her to defeat minions if at all possible. Then we're going to go ahead and spend 3 resources to put out Mockingbird. Doing that means that we get to stun. It says after Mockingbird enters play, stun an enemy. So we are going to stun our awesome Rhino villain that we're going against. What stun says is the next time they attack, they don't attack. Great. Now, unlike Lord of the Rings, there is a max of 3 allies in this game. So we now have 2 allies out. We can only have 1 more. So then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use Mockingbird. I'm going to take 1 damage on her. I'm going to exhaust her. She's going to attack for 1. That 1 is fully blocked by the Tough status card. So we'll just discard this. Then we're going to exhaust Tigra. She will take 1 point of damage, but she's going to deal 2 damage to Rhino. Then Jennifer, she is going to flip, and even though she's exhausted, because of her ability, she'll hit Rhino for another 2 damage. So you remember that 4 damage he healed? We just took care of that, which is nice. Moving to Carol's turn, we'll go ahead and exhaust Alpha Flight Station. So she can discard 1 card, Crisis Interdiction, which is great, but I didn't want to discard any of my cards. The advantage is then we get to draw 2. That's why we gave the card draw to She-Hulk. Oh, nice. Energy for 2 resources. Ooh, and Tenacity. We're then going to flip Carol over to her Captain Marvel side. We are also going to discard Tenacity to then use her ability and heal 1. So we are up to a whopping 5 total health. And we get to draw a card, which I love that. Okay, we have Heroic Intuition. We've got our Helicarrier here. We're going to go ahead and spend these 3 resources to put the Helicarrier out. So this says, exhaust Helicarrier, choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card that player plays this phase by 1. Don't mind if I do. So I will reduce the cost of the next card I'm going to play, which is going to be, let's see, yeah, it's going to be Spider-Man, or Spider-Woman. Sorry, so Spider-Woman, when she comes into play, after Spider-Woman enters play, confuse the villain. And that's exactly like the stunned, except for the next time that he thwarts, he won't thwart. Okay, so he's stunned and confused. And we've got a 2/2 ally out on the board. I'm pretty sure I didn't actually show you guys paying for that, so I'm going to use these 2 resources to pay for Spider-Woman, even though she costs 3 because of the Helicarrier. Thank you, Helicarrier. We're then going to go ahead and use For Justice as an energy resource to keep boosting up our energy channel, slowly powering that up. We'll then use Captain Marvel, exhaust her to reduce 2 threat on the scheme. So the scheme will go down to just having 7 total threat. I'm just going to show you that. Yep, 7 right now. Then we're going to have Spider-Woman also do threat reduction. So we're going to have her take 1 consequential damage. You can see that. But then we'll remove 2. So this only has 5 threat on the scheme. And then we're also going to have Daredevil go ahead and take a consequential damage. He'll also thwart. So then we are going to go down to only having 3 threat on the scheme. Thank you, guys. Now, Daredevil gets to hit the big man for 1 point of damage. So he's down to 19 total health. We've now done all of our activations. We've gone ahead and readied everything, and we've drawn up to our hand size. She-Hulk has 4, and Captain Marvel has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, I keep hoping I'm going to get this Avengers Mansion out. I think maybe at some point I'm just going to have to discard it. It's so expensive for She-Hulk. I really should get that out there, but with Carol's card draw, if she's okay letting She-Hulk use it, I don't know. Because this 1-2 punch, after she makes an attack, you can ready She-Hulk. She can attack for 8, you guys, then with her +1 attack from combat training. It's hard not to like that. First things first, we go ahead and place threat onto the scheme. So we have 5 out of the total 14. We're doing all right. Thank you, Captain Marvel and her team. Next, we have our confused and stunned Rhino. Now, he's going to attack both players because both players are in their hero form. He'll try and attack She-Hulk. He's stunned. We'll just discard the stun. Then he will try and attack Captain Marvel. Now, what we can do is all characters in this game can block for anyone. Okay, so that's a little different from Lord of the Rings. Same thing with attacking. You can attack anyone on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and have She-Hulk use Mockingbird. She should have 1 damage. There we go. Mockingbird to defend. So we'll exhaust Mockingbird to defend. Now, to use her for defense, you can see there is no consequential damage, but she is going to get hit for 3 damage plus this boost. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4, she already has 1 damage on her. Yeah, she's toast. But the nice thing is, she was only a 1-1. Her big thing was that response, which we were able to use. And she just protected Captain Marvel, who only has 5 health. Worth it! We'll now each draw an encounter card, so 1 to She-Hulk and 1 to Captain Marvel. She-Hulk's encounter card is another side scheme, and we have crowd control. Panicked civilians crowd the area. It is difficult to confront Rhino without putting them at risk. Get the people to safety. So this is a crisis icon. While this scheme is in play, you cannot remove threat from the main scheme. And this gets 4 threat. Ugh. So we've got to get rid of that 4 threat before we can get rid of any threat in the break-in. He's basically using the civilian so that he can complete what he's trying, his scheme, and we have to deal with that. I like that. For his other card, let's see what he gets. He gets advanced. When revealed, the villain schemes. Oh, great. He's confused, so he tries to scheme, but he fails. But he's no longer confused or stunned. At the end of this round, we'll go ahead and move first player back over to Carol Danvers. We're currently in hero form, so what we're going to do is spend these 2 resources. This is considered a wild resource, and from how I understand it, whenever you're paying a resource, this wild you can choose as any type of resource. But if I'm revealing the top 5 cards of my deck and I get to put all energy resource cards in my hand, this is not considered an energy. But since I'm paying it as a cost, I can use it to put a total of 5 counters onto energy channel. With 5 counters on here, I don't see why I wouldn't use that. Discard it to do 10 damage to Rhino. So Rhino goes to 9 health, but then this gets discarded. Then I'm going to go ahead and heal myself by 1 to go back up to 6. I'm going to discard Cosmic Flight. That's my energy resource. I'm going to draw a card, and I get Energy Absorption. Look at that, you guys. 3 energy resources. And we have a match made in heaven in our hand. We've got our Photonic Blast. Action. Deal 5 damage to an enemy. If you paid for this card using an energy resource, draw a card. 3 for 3. We just moved him down to 4 total health, which is perfect because that means She-Hulk can actually take him out. And we get to draw a card. So we will draw, we get Captain Marvel's helmet. We're then going to go ahead and use Spider-Woman and Captain Marvel. We're going to exhaust each of them to do a total of 4 thwart. That's going to get rid of the 4 thwart we have here on crowd control, and I can discard this card. We were easily able to get those civilians out of the way. This does mean, though, Spider-Woman will be discarded. Then I think we'll go ahead and flip Captain Marvel back over to Carol Danvers' side. We've got an action to draw a card, but I think I'm going to let She-Hulk do that. I am going to... Do I want to do it? You know, I'm going to hold. I've got Alpha's Flight Station, but I have 7 cards left in my deck. When I have to, when I empty out my deck, I have to immediately shuffle my discard pile and make it a new deck, which is great, but then I have to draw an encounter card. I don't want to do that this round because I'm planning on swapping over Rhino to level 3. I don't have to deal with that and an additional encounter card. I also still have the Helicarrier and the Avengers Mansion to help She-Hulk. And I've got my ability here. Wow, so She-Hulk will be able to draw 2 cards, and then 1 will have a reduced cost. So I do have a little bit of an advantage against Rhino, and I'm remembering that he has a pretty bad effect when he moves to card 3, and I have a way to mitigate it, I think. So what I'm going to do is, although it's not great, I'm still going to use Daredevil for his 3rd time thwarting. That means we are going to discard him. And that means the break-in will go from only having 5 threat to only 3. But then he's discarded, and then Rhino will get hit by 1 damage to 3 total health. Moving over to She-Hulk then, we're going to allow She-Hulk to draw 2 cards, 1 for Carol Danvers' command ability, and 1 for the Avengers Mansion. And we're going to draw Split Personality and Gamma Slam. Okay, this could get fun. I think what we're going to do is we're going to exhaust the Helicarrier to reduce the Hellcat's cost from 3 to 2. We're then going to spend the Avengers Mansion and chase them down to pay for the Hellcat, so the Hellcat's out on the table. We're then going to use both of... before this, we're going to take She-Hulk and we're going to flip her to Jennifer's side, okay? Yeah, that's what I want to do. Oh, you know what? I think before that, I'm going to go ahead and use her 1 thwart. I'm going to do it. I'm going to use her 1 thwart so that we reduce the thwart on, or the threat on the break-in from 3 down to 2. Okay, I know it's not great. But then we're going to flip her over to her Jennifer Walters side. Then what we're going to do is we have a total of 3 damage here. 2 and 1. We're each going to take a point of damage, but that is going to defeat Rhino. So Rhino's going to go from 3 down to 0. Just like any good villain, even though Rhino has been defeated, he is going to just get stronger. So now he's going to be a 1/4. He comes into play with a tough status card, and now it says when revealed, stun each hero. Well, we don't have any heroes on the board. Jennifer and Carol are both in alter ego form. That's the whole reason I wanted to do that. To take him out, we're going to need to do 16 times 2, or a total of 32 damage. So I'll set the tracker at 32. Once we do that, though, we can win the game. Now, I was really hoping to do Split Personality this round, but it costs 3. Look at this. I can't pay that. So I'll have to wait. That's why I ended up using Jennifer, just to reduce the amount of threat that's on the scheme. Yeah, I think it was worth it. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to draw our hands up, and then we'll move to the encounter phase. Oh man, we got some serious damage coming from these 2 ladies. Look at this. We got another one of these energy absorptions. We've got Nick Fury here. I kept the Gamma Slam and the Split Personality. We got a Strength card, a Ground Stomp, a Focused Rage. We've got our 1-2 punch. Yeah, it's going to be a fun round next round. But before that, we're going to have Villain scheming. Yeah, and he's going to scheme twice because we're both in alter ego form. And of course, he's tough, which is annoying. So first thing is we're going to place 2 threat onto the main scheme. So it's at 4. He will then scheme for a total of 1 plus 1. So that's 2. And 1 plus 2 is 3. So he just placed 5 threat on the main scheme. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 14. We'll then go ahead and deal out encounter cards, and we'll start with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel will get Shocker. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each hero. So we have She-Hulk going down to 9. And oh, wait. No, we won't. Go back to 10. It says hero. We don't have any heroes on the board. Awesome. So Shocker will just be engaged with Carol Danvers. Hey, that's our first minion we've seen in a long time. Okay, and then for Jennifer, we have, Shadows of the Past. Okay, why not? When revealed, reveal your set-aside Nemesis minion and put it into play engaged with you. Reveal your set-aside Nemesis side scheme and put it into play. Shuffle the rest of your set-aside Nemesis encounter set cards into the encounter deck. If your Nemesis minion does not come into play, this gains surge. Well, that means Titania is coming out engaged with Jennifer. If you look at Titania, she has her attack is X. X is equal to Titania's remaining hit points. So yeah, right now she attacks for 6. And her side scheme is Personal Challenge. So you can see this. It gets 3 plus the amount of players, so it's 5 threat. 3, 4, 5. And we have to deal with this before we can get rid of threat on the main scheme. This says, Titania has held a grudge against She-Hulk for years. She won't rest until she settles the score. And this means we have to remove this threat before we can remove the main threat. Okay, this is engaged with Jennifer. Well, we went from having no minions to 2. And this is out on the board. I should mention, these 3 treachery cards are now going to get shuffled in to this encounter deck. Okay, so I'll do that now too. Our first player token will now move back over to She-Hulk. So now it is She-Hulk's turn. Oh, and I need to remember to prevent 1 threat on the main scheme. I'm going to prevent 1 because I have Jennifer out, and that's her ability. I always forget that, you guys. So I think what I'm going to do for this round is I'm going to use Carol Danvers' ability and the Avengers Mansion again for She-Hulk. She-Hulk doesn't have nearly as much card draw, and she could have a pretty intense turn this round. So here's 1 card draw, another Focus Rage, and another Energy. Okay, should we have some fun? Let's have some fun. First things first, let's flip Jennifer over to her She-Hulk side. She will then do an automatic 2 points of damage, and I think I'm going to use that just to get rid of the tough status card on Rhino. So she dealt 2, but Rhino had a tough card, so he doesn't take any damage, but now he doesn't have that out. We'll then have her attack for her 3 plus 1 to hit Titania for 4 damage. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, after doing that, we will use our ground stomp and pay for the 1-2 punch. That says, after making a basic attack using your attack, ready She-Hulk. So she's ready again. Then what I think we're going to do is we'll go ahead and use Tigra here. Tigra states that we can exhaust her, do 2 points of damage, take out Titania. Now, how I understand this, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, is we would take that 3rd point of damage, but she also heals a point of damage, so she will stay out because she defeated a minion, which is nice, which is what I wanted her to do. We'll then go ahead and use Hellcat to remove 2 threat from the personal challenge. So instead of having 5 on it, it'll now only have 3 on it, and that will exhaust Hellcat. Then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and use Focused Rage and Energy to pay for Focused Rage. So we can exhaust this while she's in hero form, which she is. We'll take 1 damage to draw 1 card. So we'll go down to 9, okay, and then we will get to draw a card, and we get Hulk. Hulk can be good and bad. Then I think I'm going to go ahead and just exhaust She-Hulk again to hit for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Rhino's at 28. Then we're going to spend these 2, so our Strength and Hulk. Kind of bummed. I kind of wanted to put Hulk out, but we're going to do that to do Split Personality. That says change your form, then draw up to your printed hand size. So we will change back over to Jennifer Walters. Okay. We have 1 card in our hand, Gamma Slam. I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more cards. Here's our 5. Oh man, so many more options. Although a lot of it's attacking, which we can't do while we're in alter ego form. So I'll have to look at this. I think we're going to go ahead and play First Aid, discarding Combat Training to heal up Hellcat, because it says heal 2 damage from any character. So Hellcat just healed up to full. That way we can use her more, which I think is worth it. I got a pretty sweet hand. The biggest problem is they're all hero actions, and I did flip back over to Jennifer Walters' side. Yeah, maybe I should have waited to do it where I don't know. It doesn't matter. You never know. I did it, so that's going to end my turn. I still have 4 cards in my hand, so I'm only going to draw 2 cards next round. I could discard. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see after Carol goes. First thing we're going to do with Carol, we're going to go ahead and discard Heroic Intuition, and we are going to exhaust this so we can draw 2 more cards. And we've got the Haymaker and Interrogation Room. Then I think we're going to go ahead and play Nick Fury. So we are going to discard these 2 cards for a total of 4 resources. And bringing Nick Fury out, it's like Gandalf. After Nick Fury enters play, choose 1. Remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. At the end of the round, if Nick Fury is still in play, discard him. definitely going to draw the 3 cards. I've got 1 here to finish my deck off, so you got For Justice, and then I'm going to have to shuffle, but because of that, I'm going to have to draw 1 encounter card. Now, this card is just going to sit out, and then during the encounter phase, we'll reveal it. So I'm just going to put this out on the table. We'll draw our remaining 2 cards, and we have Energy Channel and Energy Absorption. Are you serious? Nice. We'll go ahead and put Energy Channel out on the table, and then I think we're going to do it. We're going to spend 3 plus 1 plus 1. That's a total of 5 energy to put 5 total tokens on there. Discard it right away. That's going to put Rhino all the way down to 18. Oh, we can't do that yet because we haven't flipped to hero form. Well, let's flip to hero form now. So we're going to flip to hero form now. We've paid the total of 5. We're attacking, putting him down to 18. We then have Mockingbird that we want to play, so we're going to exhaust our helicarrier here to reduce the cost to play Mockingbird. We're going to spend 2 resources for her. She will then stun Rhino, which is nice. That means Rhino won't be able to attack Captain Marvel this turn. He will scheme for Jennifer. Now I've got these 3 characters I can still use, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 and 2, so a total of 3 damage. That's going to be to take out Shocker, because I don't really want Shocker out. And then I'll go ahead and, should I just keep hitting? The question is, can we do enough damage to Rhino next round to just beat him? And 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you know what? We're just going to say screw it to the schemes out there. We're going to hit Rhino for another 2 damage. That'll knock him down to 16. Maybe we could do enough damage to him next time. Sometimes you just got to turn to just focusing on the villain and not worry about the side schemes and the main scheme. Okay, so everyone has activated. I have no cards in my hand. So let's go ahead and ready and draw up to our hand size. Here are our hands. Jennifer has another 1-2 punch. That's 8 damage right there with She-Hulk. That's pretty good. And then here we have Carol's hand, some more energy. She's got the Photonic Blast she could do for 5 damage. Yeah, as long as these treachery cards aren't terrible, I think we might be able to win this next round. Now we'll move into the villain phase. First thing is we place 2 threat on the main scheme. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if he gets 4 threat on here, we lose the game. Okay, so he is going to thwart because Jennifer is in her alter ego form. So he gets a boost. So he'll thwart for 2. Then the boost is give the villain 1 additional boost card for this activation. Oh no, he's thwarting for 2. If this is a 2, we lose the game. No, it's a 1. Okay, is that right? Because he's thwarting for 1, 2, 3. So we just placed 3 more on here. Yeah, that's 13. Yeah, maybe I stretched it a little bit too much. Rhino then will just attack for Captain Marvel, but he's stunned, so we'll just discard this. Okay, and then we will draw an encounter card for each player, 1 for She-Hulk, and then 1 for Captain Marvel. But remember, Captain Marvel has to reveal 2 encounter cards. She-Hulk is first. We'll go ahead and reveal, and we have Charge attached to Rhino. When Rhino attacks, the attack gains overkill. That means excess damage to an ally from this attack is dealt to that ally's controller. At the end of this attack, discard Charge. So he will attack us for 7, and if we even use ally to defend, any overkill damage will go to She-Hulk. Ow. We'll go ahead now and reveal both of Captain Marvel's. Okay, these could be bad. If he gets 1 threat on the scheme, we lose. We have Assault. We're in hero form. The villain attacks you. Okay, that's not bad, because we've got Nick Fury. So we're getting attacked for... Oh, no. That's actually... Well, it's still not terrible. She-Hulk... Nick Fury can help us at least. So he's attacking for 4 plus 3 is 7. We're going to defend with Nick Fury. No boost, so 7. Nick Fury has 2, so 6, 5. We take a total of 5 damage. Yeah, and we had 6 health. So we'll go down to 1. Well, there's nothing like an intense finish. I'm not even done yet. Okay, so that means Charge is discarded. I'll take all of those. Okay, and Nick Fury is definitely gone. Thank you, Nick, for saving Carol Danvers. And then our next card will be Gang Up. hero. The villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. There is no minion engaged. That means we've got to use Mockingbird. Good thing we have Mockingbird. Okay, Mockingbird will defend. Rhino's attacking for 4, plus 1 is 5. That does not have overkill, so Mockingbird is killed. Oh my gosh, do you see why allies are super important? Okay, but what this means is 16 damage. Jennifer herself can do 8, plus her Tigra for 10, Hellcat for 11. I think we've actually won, because Captain Marvel should be able to do 5 damage just to the card in her hand. So yeah, let's finish him off. That was close, but I think we've got him. Before that, though, Captain Marvel will go ahead and get first player token, so she'll go first. So she's pretty pissed that Rhino just killed Nick Fury, so she's going to go ahead and do the Photonic Blast. That costs her a total of 3 resources, 2 from Strength, 1 from Tenacity. That will deal 5 damage, so he'll go from 16 down to 11. And then she used an energy resource, so she will draw a card, Cosmic Flight. Nice. We'll then go ahead and use Avengers Mansion, so we can draw a card. We get another Photonic Blast. Oh, come on, let's just do it. So with that, we've got our Photonic Blast. We'll spend 3 resources right here. That is going to deal 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's going to go down to 6 health. That means She-Hulk can take him out, no problem. And we paid an energy resource, so we'll draw a card. That's our only card in hand. Yeah, I think then we're going to... Oh yeah, might as well. We'll use her ability. Discard this. We can consider it an energy resource. We'll heal ourselves to 2. And then we'll draw a card. And we get For Justice. You know what? Why not? We'll use the Helicarrier. Reduce the cost of For Justice to... Oh no. You know what? That doesn't help. Because this For Justice costs 2. I think that's going to end... That's going to end what we can do with the cards in our hand. Captain Marvel will then just attack for 2 damage, bringing him down to 4. Just so that Jennifer, over here, will flip. That will deal 2 damage to him, and then she'll attack him, and that takes him out. Whew! Well, that was fun. He definitely escalated it, but you can see he's not the most challenging in the world because I was able to blow through his level 3 pretty quick. But yeah, that was Marvel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You can see how the game is very, very tactical, very quick. It's very different from Lord of the Rings. I mean, you've got plethoras of resources, but your cards are going to go on and off the table quickly, and the villain hits hard. I mean, that was the easiest villain, right? There are definite things that I like about this game more than, let's say, Lord of the Rings or Arkham. But what I would recommend is if you're looking for a story, go Arkham Horror. If you're looking for deck building and trying to complete a puzzle, you're going to look for Lord of the Rings. If you're looking for fast play, ease of entry, yet you still have to do a lot of solid tactical play on what cards to play and what cards to discard to play for those, I would do Marvel. Also, of course, Marvel is new, so this is just the core set, so you can get in right at the beginning. But it does also mean that you're limited for your deck building. And so, yeah, the deck building I'm not a huge fan of. I don't know how I feel about having 15 cards in my deck always being the same. For some heroes, it works out. For like She-Hulk and Captain Marvel are 2 examples where you can really change the game up based upon their aspects. For someone like Iron Man, though, who he has to find a suit, I find that the aspect doesn't matter as much because I'm having to spend so much time at the beginning of the game just finding my suit anyways. And so having different aspects don't really come into play until later in the game. So, yeah, I mean, it's good, but I personally like the Lord of the Rings open feel where I can have heroes that will go into decks and they can feel completely different in different types of decks. But regardless, I am going to collect everything from Marvel. I'm really liking it. I still would say my favorite is Lord of the Rings, followed by Arkham because the story for Arkham is good. And then I'd put Marvel as third. But it's a little bit of an unfair comparison because Marvel only has the core set. Arkham and Lord of the Rings now have, well, Lord of the Rings has 8 expansion sets, plus the campaign saga, plus the Hobbit saga, and then Arkham's been out now for 3 years, so there's a lot more out. So it's a challenge to compare them, but right now that's what I'd put it at. I'd put this as the 3rd best LCG for me. Now, for you, could be totally different, and if you're into the theme, this one is a no-brainer. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you'd like to see Expert Claw or Expert Ultron. I might think of trying to do one of those as well. Thank you all, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. I will catch you at the next stop.